Hello, this is Jen here, and welcome to another Wellbeing Wednesday. Today I would like to talk about something which is really important for our well-being and our happiness. And over the next few weeks I'm going to talk about other things that are really helpful, but today I'd like to talk about what scientists have agreed is the most important thing, and that is having good quality relationships and being able to connect with other people. And I wanted to talk about that today because I also understand that with lockdown still in place, it's difficult to connect with other people. I understand that, I feel it too. But there are some ways that we can do it. And I just wanted to share some of these with you. Now, it's really important to have good quality relationships, and it's also not good to feel isolated. So it is important, if any of you are feeling isolated, just to reach out, connect with us at the yard, let us know, leave a comment below, and we will find ways to help you connect. Scientists have done research and agreed that relationships are really central for our well-being, and connecting with family and friends is important. Experiencing positive emotions together with our friends is a key thing, and at the moment we can't get together with our families and our friends and share these positive experiences like birthdays or celebrations. So we have to find other more creative ways of doing that. It's also really important to be able to talk openly with our friends and our families and be understood. That's really key. Not to feel like what we have to say isn't important or there aren't people who are willing to listen to us. There are always people willing to listen. And giving and receiving support is also really important. Receiving support is important, but also that experience of giving support to someone else can help us feel a lot better. It's a really positive feedback loop. And just having shared experience is important. The Zoom chats that we have with family or FaceTime or WhatsApp video or any of these things, whether it's a video call or a phone call, particularly in these times of social distancing. What we want is not social distancing. We want physical distancing, but we want social closeness. It's really important. So how can we do that, particularly when really interacting with our phones and our computers and our laptops and our tablets, can sometimes feel not that good for our mental health and our well-being. So how do we use this information to help us? I think the first thing is really notice, if you're on your phone or on your devices, or if you're not, if you're at home and you're feeling isolated, just see if you can tune into how you're feeling, not just in your mind, but tuning into your heart and your belly, your gut instinct, and notice how you're feeling. And if you're feeling isolated or lonely, or if you feel like you're on your phone and social media too much and that's kind of feeling not so good, you're comparing yourself to other people like we all do when we look in social media, notice what that inner voice is saying and trust it. Our intuition can give us some really valuable information. Also, if you're feeling isolated, then see if you can make a plan to connect with somebody. If we weren't in lockdown, I would be suggesting, maybe contacting somebody and seeing if you go for a walk or a cup of coffee or something. But at the moment, it's more likely to be a phone call or a WhatsApp video chat or something like that. Just see if you can make a plan and notice that when you do connect with a friend or a family member, notice how that feels and notice if it feels better. We want to identify things that help us to feel better and do more of them. It's not rocket science, but it's incredible how hard some of us kind of find, me included, to actually do the things that nourish us. And I mentioned devices, and it's really useful to notice how much you're using your devices. I don't know about you, but my phone and tablet always tell me how much screen time I'm using and whether it's up or down. And that can be a useful kind of check-in for me. Am I feeling better? Does that correlate to looking at my phone less? Usually I find for me it does. And so see if you can make a plan. If you're not feeling great being on your devices too much, see if you can make a plan to reduce that a bit and just going outside and getting a bit more fresh air. And also seeing if you can find ways in our kind of physically distanced world at the moment to deepen the connection you have with some of your friends. And sometimes that's just offering a listening ear on the phone or on a video chat, or asking people questions about themselves, asking people how they're feeling, giving people an opportunity to share. And giving yourself an opportunity to share how you're feeling and just noticing how that can deepen your relationships with people. And the deeper our relationships are, the more connected we feel, not just on a sort of head space, but heart and gut. That really deep connection with all three of these areas, head, heart, and gut. And also noticing that sometimes when you're connecting with people, I had to really get used to video calls. I had to get used to doing this. Notice that self-consciousness that you feel, that many of us feel, and then see if you can shift your attention to the other person that you're talking to. Shift your focus to them, being interested in them, listening really actively, and just notice and see if that takes away some of the kind of awkwardness and discomfort of self-consciousness that I think all of us know. And also coming back to technology, just notice how you're using if you're looking at social media, notice how you're using it. Are there certain things that you're doing with your phone or your tablet or your computer that feel nourishing and supportive? Groups maybe that you're in that are supportive? Are there other things that are less nourishing? I have to say, for me, when I stopped watching the news or following the news, I felt better. And also just noticing your ability to develop empathy. Now, empathy is our ability to kind of put ourselves in someone else's shoes, imagining what it might be like to be them. And we can practice that just by listening, by observing, by learning, by following what maybe looking at somebody's body language if you're doing a video call, by asking them questions, by being curious. Curiosity is such an amazing kind of character trait. Sometimes I say childlike curiosity, that openness, that wonder of being a child. How can we bring that more into our lives? It really helps to boost our well-being. And also finally, just remembering that really deep and beautiful experience of connecting with a true friend, and how that can completely shift our experience if we're feeling anxious, if we're feeling low, if we're feeling isolated. Just how healing a conversation with a really good true friend can be. And I've also forgotten that. Sometimes I've had days that have not been great. Our emotions at the moment, I think, can be like roller coasters. And I've experienced just connecting, short conversation with a friend, and how healing and uplifting that can be. I hope you find that helpful, and maybe some of these suggestions are helpful to you. Do share and let us know if you've managed to use any of these things. And I look forward to seeing you next week for another Wellbeing Wednesday.